Hey, what's up guys? Tony here, and welcome to another episode of Tuesdays with Tony. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about the situation in North Korea. So in my last video, in the comment section of my last video, somebody had asked if I could cover my thoughts about the situation now that has arisen in North Korea. And so I'll do that right now. I'm not going to be talking very long, at least I don't think I'm going to be talking very long about it, just because of the fact that the situation as I see it, it's a very simple situation. And pretty much it's this. I see what's going on with North Korea is just posturing. And I don't think that his threats have any sort of validity to it. Not that, in two sense. One sense, I don't think he would actually do it because of the geopolitical situation that he finds himself in, which from my perspective, I'll explain that. And two, I don't think they have the technological capability to do what he would like to do in the first place. You know, so if you haven't heard, if you've been living under a rock, or you've been in basic training for the last 6 to 8 weeks, you'll not know that he threatened the United States, specifically the Guam area, with a nuclear strike with his ICBMs, which he apparently has, but really does not. And so, of course, you know, the United States, you know, we're going to take that very seriously because it warrants, you know, it's a threat that warrants, you know, a serious reaction. So we put missile defenses, or we're putting missile defenses in Guam. Other nations, obviously South Korea is very concerned about this. Japan has put up, you know, American-built missile defense system, Patriot missile defense system. So they started putting that stuff up around Tokyo. And from what I understand, China has moved troops to the border, to the southern border, you know, to the border between North Korea and China. And so when I look at comments on certain videos that talk about the same discussion, there's this weird, like, Cold War rhetoric that comes into play. Like, you know, if the United States were to get into war with North Korea again, China would back North Korea, Russia would back China, so they would back North Korea, and they're going on this, like, Cold War, you know, domino theory of the past, where it's just like communists or forming communist countries sort of stay together, going to band together. And the truth is the geopolitical situation that North Korea finds itself in is that they're surrounded on all sides. You know, you got China that doesn't want any sort of, they want a good neighbor policies, from what I understand what they're looking for. They want a good neighbor policy, so they don't want any hostilities in the area, especially nuclear. You know, they don't want a nuclear war in their backyard, and I don't blame them. Nobody does. You got Japan, who obviously feels threatened because, you know, they're a capitalistic society, you know, a country that's just to Korea's east, not too far away. Of course, South Korea is in the south, they're connected to them. And so you've got South Korea, of course, a democratic, capitalistic society. And so North Korea is surrounded on all sides by countries that don't want them to be aggressive. And of course, you know, in the United States, we back both Japan and North Korea. And to a certain extent, you know, we're gonna protect those people. And then to bring China back into it, China has interest in the United States not having a problem because we owe them a lot of money, because they've loaned us a lot of money. And on the flip side, to go and kind of counter the argument that China would back North Korea, China would have a lot to lose if they decided to back North Korea, and a war did, you know, spill out, and you know, this sort of hot talking turns into an actual conventional war, and you know, North Korea is defeated, and if we go in and defeat China, then all that money that we owe China, we're just gonna be like, you know what, we're not paying it because we just beat you. So China would stand to lose a lot if they were to actually get into a conflict with the U.S. So I don't see that. Basically, what I do see is just Kim Jong-un, you know, being that yippy dog, that loud ass dog who's trying to show the world that he's a big tough dog when he's not. I mean, think about it, like, technologically speaking, I don't know if you guys remember or not, but it wasn't too long ago that North Korea had claimed to have sent a monkey into space, and so on a rocket. So of course, like, the entire Western world and China and Japan and all those people are like, well, yeah, we did that, you know, like 40 some odd years ago. So good job though, good job, good. But the problem is that the monkey that they had photographed as taken off, when they showed it again later, it was a different monkey. So the chances are is the monkey that was launched never made it to space. It probably exploded, or it crashed, or it died in orbit, or something happened to that monkey, because the monkey they showed later on not the same monkey. Clearly not the same monkey, and it was kind of laughable, you know. So, technologically speaking, they don't have it. They don't have anything. I mean, if you know, so it just goes back to the question, like, what does he hope to gain? Because he has serious international sanctions upon his country, him and his country, and it's causing, you know, him and his country harm because of the fact that there's no economic growth. You know, he's got starving people, and so to threaten, you know, a major power in the UN only serves to bring about more sanctions on his country. So he's not really doing his country and his people any favors. And I mean, I guess he could use that to rally his people into a warlike state, because he could argue that, you know, that he's trying so hard, but the evil Western countries are not gonna help him out. You know, he can spin it however he wants to, because they have control of what the North Koreans see and hear in their news networks. As far as I understand, very oppressive. And as I remember, I think it was done under Kim Jong-il that North Korea was listed as one of the most oppressive countries in the world, or the most oppressive country in the world. So it's, you know, it's no surprise that there's no freedom of press. I mean, I think China has the same issue about freedom of press in their country. So basically, just to sort of wrap it up, I just see what Kim Jong-un is doing is just a little chest pumping, nothing more than that. I mean, I hope, and I know our leaders are taking it very seriously, and I think the leaders of the world are taking it very seriously. But I don't really think anything's going to come of it. There's nothing that he stands to gain, you know, and he has everything to lose, you know. And the funny thing is that Americans, we are very sensitive to being threatened, especially when it comes to you know, nuclear war, because we know, and the world knows, what happens to, you know, cities that are bombed. And, you know, we've learned from that, and I think that we've grown. But the threat of nuclear war is something very serious. It's a very indiscriminate way of attacking someone. You know, you're not attacking military installations. You're attacking everybody within the blast radius of that weapon. So obviously we've seen with Iran the sort of things. We don't want a country like that to have nuclear weapons, and we certainly don't want North Korea to have, you know, nuclear weapons. But like I said, I don't think they're anywhere close to having anything that could actually threaten, you know, the U.S. or any of the UN allies, or the UN or the American allies in that region, and especially not Guam. So that's my take on it. I think, like I said, I think it's something that should be looked at, something that should be taken seriously, but I don't think it's nothing's going to come of it. I mean, I'll be wrong. I mean, I'll be really shocked if I'm wrong, and I know the whole world would be shocked if I'm wrong. But I just don't see them having the capability of doing anything. And it just, like I said, it just blows my mind as to what the hell he's hoping to achieve. You know, he's not going anywhere except for digging his country a bigger hole. So, it's kind of it's one of those situations where you see someone doing something wrong, and you're kind of like, what? Why are you doing that? You know, it's like, of all the things you could do, and I know there's a bunch of theories as to why he's doing it, but those, you know, of course, we can all entertain. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and talk to you guys later.